Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I present to you another LEGO creation. Now this build might look familiar again. Yes, I know I've been doing rebuilds or redesigns a lot lately. That might be because I have not thought of anything else to build, but whatever. It's good to do redesigns every now and then. Because, well, some of these designs I felt that I did not do good enough. So anyways, here we have the Desert Eagle, which I have built in the past. Now, the most big difference you could see that is the grip is angled this time. My old Desert Eagle design had a straight grip, which was very girthy, very hard to hold, but this one is very comfortable. Now, of course, some of you might find this grip familiar because it's not my design. Of course, I did make a few changes, but the changes are so minimal that you might not even notice it. So anyways, let's get into it. So actually, I started building the barrel, but anyways, we'll get on with the grip first. Since it's not my design, I want to get that out of the way first. Now, some of you who watch Jim's Lego Guns, you might know that this grip is from his Deagle. Now, his grip has a working mag release. I found that unnecessary, and I, well, don't really need a mag release since the mag is already very tight in there. As you can see, bit hard to pull out. Now we'll talk about the magazine. Now the magazine is also partially his design, just the bottom area. The top is mine, the top area is my design, but the bottom area is from Jim's Lego Guns. So yeah, anyways, back on to the grip. Now if you've watched his Desert Eagle video, you can already notice that yes, this is his design, but of course I changed a few things, but those things are very minimal. Now, this slope here on Jim's design is actually a bit lower, which means there's basically this black plate here is supposed to be here, and this slope is supposed to be lowered. I found that looking a bit weird, so I made it higher. So instead of the plate being on top of the slope, it's below the slope. So yeah, that's one of the noticeable changes. Next is the mag release. Yes, it's a fake one. It looks identical on the other side. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for the grip. Now yes, there's a beaver tail. The beaver tail is also his design since it's part of the grip, but almost anything I could come up with looked similar anyway, so why not go with the best looking one. So yeah, next off is the trigger. Now this is basically the same trigger from my from the past few builds, which were the Groza, the AK, and the MKII. Now why? Well, I figured I would try not using Technic pieces as grips, not grips, as triggers, since they look better, because not a lot of triggers have holes in the middle of them now, do they? So yeah, it looks good and it works, so why not? So here it is. One thing I'm not particularly proud of, but I can't really do anything about, is the trigger guard. Now there's supposed to be a slope down here, but I couldn't find any pieces, and a bracket piece plus a slope piece made it way too thick. So this is how I handled it. So next off is the top section, which connects the barrel, the slide, and the grip together. Yeah, it's basically let's say how can I explain this now? The changes on the gun, I wouldn't say are improvements. The ones that are mine, I would say it's just a different spin, a different take on the design. I'll show you those things later. but there isn't any particular improvements, I would say. Just the grip, and the grip isn't mine anyways, so it's just a different take on how I would make it. So yeah, now this section here is built like that, no particular reason, just because of space. So yeah, these studs here are just to block out the Technic pins, because random holes in guns look weird. So yeah, next off we'll look at the slide catch. So it works like any pistol slide catch. It just slides out like that, and if you push it down, it releases. But one thing cool about this one is, oh crap, yes, there's one problem with the hammer. I'll show you later. So basically you can lock it, and because of gravity, when you pull it, that thing drops down and just moves like that. Now one thing I added to the slide, which is the fire selector or safety, because the Deagle has only one firing mode, which is semi-auto, and the other setting is just safety. Imagine if there was a full auto Desert Eagle. Many wrists would be shattered. So yeah, next off, I'll show you the problem with the hammer. So you might notice that the slide is a bit angled up. I don't know why that is the case, but anyways, here is the hammer. It's 2 studs wide. It's basically the same hammer design as my old Deagle, because, well, I liked it, so I kept it. Now the problem is, when you push the slide or pull it way too far back. Why is it not cooperating with me? Alright, I've done it. Oh, now it doesn't want to happen. Okay, basically what happens is, now you can see there's some space here that is not occupied by anything, and when you push the slide back too far on my model, the hammer sometimes doesn't go fully back. It doesn't go to this position. It goes into this position, which is not good, since it might get hooked on this brick in here, and that gets the slide stuck. So yeah, that's one of the problems on my design, but I can't really get it to happen on camera. That's weird. Most of the issues don't occur when filming, so I guess that's a good thing. So anyways, next is up to the slide. Now as you can see, there are a few changes. On my old design, I think I used cheese slopes instead of these curved slopes. I think the curved slopes make it look cleaner, so that's what I did. The iron sights stayed basically the same, but I just added this 1x1 tile to make it look cleaner. So yeah, basically the cheese slopes are mostly replaced by curved slopes. Now there's nothing much I could change about this area here. It remained the same as my old design, but yeah, the rail design is also basically the same. The iron sight, the front, the one in the front here, has been changed. So yeah, I used to use this part here for the front iron sight, but I ran out, so I had to improvise, and the shape still looks pretty decent, so I don't mind it. So yeah, and this section here, I use bracket pieces and 1x2 slopes to give it that sloping shape. In the past, the older design, I used one of those, I'll grab it right here. I used this part right here, and that looked way too weird, so I guess I had to change it. So yeah, so I wouldn't say this is an improved design. Well, it has minor improvements such as the better grip, but it isn't mine, so I don't count it as an improvement. But I guess the fire selector is a thing, so yeah. Again, there's the rails. So yeah, that's basically about it. One thing I forgot to add, but I don't think I am able to add it, is the... Alright, we'll lock this back. There's supposed to be a bolt of sorts in here. Yes, there is a bolt in the Desert Eagle. I'll explain why later. it also acts as a extractor of sorts, but I couldn't add it because of the rubber band. So anyways, yeah, that's about it for the design. Still basically the same, but with minor improvements. So yeah, that's basically about it. So now we can talk about some other things. Oh wait, I also added some, I made attachments, I forgot. So anyways, I'll show you the attachments. Now this is the red dot design I used for my MP5, but I changed it a bit. The middle is higher than the sides, so there is more shape to it. It wouldn't look too bland, but it looks basically the same. So it basically just connects to the top rails like so. You can look down the sides. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to show you, the iron sights. So yeah, here are the iron sights. Pretty clean if you ask me. So yeah, here are the iron sights. I mean the red dot. If it wants to cooperate with me. Alright, it's on. Now that's not the only attachment I made. I actually made, including the red dot, 4 attachments. So here are all the attachments together. This is a laser. So yeah. And this is a foregrip. Now, one thing about the Deagle, my model, when I add this attachment onto it, it's connected by jumper plates. Whoops, I broke the foregrip. Now, weight is a thing, so I can't hold this thing one-handed or else the grip will break, so I'll have to hold it two-handed like a rifle of sorts. So yeah, here is how it looks with all the crazy attachments on. Now I actually intended to make a big scope for it, but you know, scopes are hard to make, so I didn't make it. So yeah, that's basically about it for the attachments. So now we can talk about a few other things that are not really related to the gun, but still related to what I do on YouTube, basically. So some of you, or most of you, that have watched my videos before might notice that the area which I filmed has changed again. So yeah. This is my new setup. I'm not going to be filming in that old room anymore unless anything happens to this area here. This is basically the room I sleep in. Now, here's a table. Of course, I can show you my setup. Here it is. Just basically sorting of parts. Here we have the slopes. Like so. This section here are the inverted slopes. These are just plates, and this section here is just bricks. This one here is just Technic bricks and the bricks on the side. I mean the bricks with the studs on the side. And this is just a shit ton of Technic pieces which I did not know I had, so that's good, I can use them. We have hinge pieces here. We have brackets over here, and a few unsorted wedge plates. We have wedge plates and these things which I have no idea what they're called, and if I can find them, these round things which I also have no idea what they're called. So yeah, and we have cylinder pieces right here. Also have the tiles I use. Now, of course, this looks like there's not a lot. Of course, most of the tiles I have are on the gun. Now, of course, I have more tiles over here, but these are the colors that I don't want to use. But, of course, I can use them for the internals of the gun where you won't see them, because I'm trying to do a thing which, well, at least makes my guns look a little better. Because, you know, rainbow guns are not that comfortable to look at. They are a bit messy. So you can see most of the colors I use are gray, dark gray, black. And sometimes a little bit of white is thrown in. Not because it looks good, just because I don't have that particular part or enough parts. So sometimes a bit of white will be thrown in. Of course, some of these rainbow colors will be used, but they won't be on the outside. Technic pieces don't really count since I don't have a lot of them. So yeah. So basically, this is just the setup I use to, well, keep my parts. And it's easier to build with a sorted collection. I used to have I used to not have a sorted collection. I basically had all my parts in one box, and so that's why some of its videos took a longer time to make, because I had to find them. Now I had this set up since the AK, so yeah, that's why the Groza came out so fast. But part of the reason the Groza came out so fast is because it's based on the AK receiver, which I already had. This is entirely new. None of it is from the old guns. So yeah, one of the advantages of having a sorted collection is, well, you can find your pieces faster. Now I actually still have the AK and Groza mags. I haven't disassembled them completely because, well, I'm tired sometimes. So yeah. Oh, alright. One thing I forgot to tell you, talk about, or show you in the early parts of the video, which is how the Desert Eagle works. Now I have a crude drawing. Here is the internals of the Desert Eagle. Now, most pistols are direct blowback, which I have explained in multiple past videos, so I'm not going to talk about that in this video, because the Desert Eagle fires a spicy round, which the round it's most known for shooting is 50 AE or 50 Action Express. It's basically the 50 cal of pistols. So yeah, it also fires two more different cartridges, but I'm sure there's more. The more famous ones is 357 Magnum and 44 Magnum. Those are also pretty spicy rounds. So yeah, actually this gun is, I'm not really sure. I think it's half American, half Israeli, because it's designed by Magnum Research Incorporated, which is an American company, but it was produced by IMI, which is Israeli Military Industries. So you could say it's a mixed child of sorts, half American, half Israeli. So now, of course, higher energy rounds cannot use direct blowback. That would just destroy your gun. So the Desert Eagle actually also has lockup. It has a rotating bolt, which is located here. When you see the slide pulled back, you usually see one part over here. So what a rotating bolt does is basically lockup. It slows down the the cycling of the, not really slowed down, but also kind of slows down. It slows it down to regulate the cycling, to make sure it happens correctly and doesn't blow up the gun, because guns are very sophisticated. If one thing goes wrong, it just blows up in your face. Now, it's gas operated. Now, one of the guns that is most famously known for being gas operated, which is the AK. Now, I've explained how the AK works multiple times, so I'm not going to go into that. Just know that this is a basic crude drawing. Now, this is the chamber which the round with the bullet, resides in. So basically, this area here is the chamber, and this section here is the barrel. Now, this is where the bullet sits, and when you fire, of course, there's going to be gas. This section here is a gas tube, which lets the gas move down here. There are springs here, which is this section here, the bottom section. And when the gas goes down here, it basically pushes this thing, and it cycles around, and if you keep shooting, the thing keeps happening again. So yeah, that's basically about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.